All right, ladies and gents. Sorry I'm late. Had the internet not working at the house. Yeah, make sure I can. Yeah, okay. I can see that plug going up. Internet was not working in the house, so I went to a coffee shop, and that first internet also wasn't working. Uh, it seemed like it was blocking the live stream, but finally I connected to another one. Hopefully this thing holds up with the stream. I don't know. Looks pretty good now, so let's jump in. We're talking about pricing, and put my phone on D&D just to make sure. All right, pricing. The three things you'll learn today. Essentially, like we look at pricing for all of our clients at least 3 times a week, or like probably 10 hours total. We manage a portfolio of about 50 units that we do revenue management on, and then we're constantly like updating, tweaking, checking how we're doing, all that. So I'm going to give you 3 tips. One is what to check up front, what to check ongoing. We do it a couple times a week. Most hosts probably don't need that unless you have a big portfolio or you're like super involved or you want to be. And then third is like when to check one-off prices. Think like holidays, New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving. We're starting to book those coming out of fall. So really like how to check those prices of individual nights. So this is going to really just scratch the surface. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail, but the entire detail is actually in our paid community. If you want more info, let me know, and I will give you more info. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. Once again, if you have questions, let me know as we go through this. Appreciate everybody for sticking with me. Can you guys see? Okay, yes, I'm on my laptop. As you can tell, I am at Camp North End, and yeah, hopefully nobody bothers me in here and looking at me stupid. All right, so the front piece, right? This is like essentially one of the first things that we do. Uh, Sorry, let me take that back. The comp set, setting up the comp set, which I've done a whole training. It's for free. Go to our school community. Shoot me a DM if you don't know how to get there. I'll direct you in the right direction. But setting up a comp set, that's going to be number one. None of this matters without step number one. This is really just like what to check and when, right? Up front, you're going to be looking at lead time and length of stay. That is the biggest thing that you're going to need to look at, right? Because you want to know when people are booking, and then how long are they staying, and how far in advance are they booking. Like if your booking window is 30 days, there's really no point in looking at 90 days, 120 days down the road, unless it's like a holiday, right? You're kind of wasting time there if most of your bookings come in on 30 days. So you want to be really, really optimized from 30 to like 60 days out, and then obviously like 15 to 30 if you miss that booking window. And then obviously like super last minute, you want to just get booked if you miss the big window. So I'm going to show you like where to check this. And one thing to note here is you're looking at your direct competitors. This is usually like 10 to 15 of your closest like properties. If you're in, I mean, most markets, you can find like 8 to 12 to 15 to 20 in almost every market. I have not been, let me actually make sure this is the right screen. Yeah, okay, we're looking at the right one. Okay, so lead time. This is going to be in your comp set reports. This is just one of our properties. It's shrunk down a little bit just for presentation. I don't think I can get that out of the way. So the big ones here are booking window, right? So we're at 25 days. Occupancy 63, a little bit low. We usually hover at about 75 to 85%. Some of these other ones, I mean, revenues obviously important, but today we're really just going to be focusing on booking window, like how far people book in advance and how long they're staying. Surprise, most markets are anywhere from like 21 days to like 45, sometimes 60 days booking window. That's getting shorter and shorter. So making sure you're dialed in last minute because there's more inventory, more competition. And then length of stay, I don't think I've ever seen anything over like 4 days. Most of them are like 2 to 3. So pretty straightforward here. And this is only of 21 of the closest competitors. So once again, this is unlocked whenever you set up your comp set. So first step, set up your comp set, figure out here, booking window, and then length of stay. If you have questions, drop them in the comments below. All right, that is the essentially how to find that. And I'm not going to go into like the details of what all this means. Price Labs does all this training very well of like what lead time is, all that. What they don't do well is like what to actually do with the numbers. I can't fit everything into like a 10, 15-minute training because there's so many different rabbit holes, but we're just going to give you the basics here today. If you want more info, once again, the full training and masterclass is in our paid community. All right, ongoing. So this is essentially what you need to look at. I mean, we check this every week. Most hosts do not check this. They probably don't even know what a pacing report is, but I'm gonna at least show you like what it looks like and some of the key metrics that we look at. So pacing, you go into pacing, I've blocked out the listings over here, but Price Labs comes with the default. So first of all, Price Labs Wheelhouse, they're going to look a little different, but should have this similar functionality. This is just what we've used for years, and I think that's the best software in this STR industry. So pacing by month, essentially like what have you booked so far, and like what's your occupancy now, and then how are you pacing looking forward. Every report pretty much looks backwards, which once it's already passed, it's gone. You like can't change anything, right? You want to also have the history, but also look forward of like, okay, how well are we doing? Like today, it's October 8th. How well are we doing in October moving forward as of the 8th of the month? And then obviously those numbers change every day whenever you get booked. But so this is, I've just sorted it by occupancy. It looks like this is September. But this has like literally all the numbers you would need. You can input like revenue goals, which is really cool. We typically start with like occupancy because that drives revenue. If you're not getting booked, it doesn't matter what your ADR is. Occupancy is the number one most important indicator that drives everything else. So if you're at good occupancy, chances are you will, if you're priced right, which is a whole separate equation, you will be making money and being profitable. So we've averaged 85%, 84% occupancy across all of our properties year round. So this is a big reason why to check and see what you can do. So this is kind of the pacing report. There is a ton of fields here. We usually look out about 30 to 90 days in the future. So this goes out to December. Once again, this booking window is 25 days. So right now we're like booking through the end of October and then early next month. Obviously, we want to make sure we're priced right for Thanksgiving and Christmas, New Year's, any big holiday, which we'll get into the next one. All right, let me just make sure my notes are 3 months out. Yeah, 3 months out. We mentioned that. So it's in the Price Labs report builder. Yeah, occupancy and revenue. Those are the two main factors. Everybody always gets hung up on like, what's your ADR? What's your ADR? ADR doesn't matter. ADR is dictated by your occupancy. If you can get booked, like you can manipulate the occupancy to your favor. We had a recent client we had to let go because she was like, my property is worth $250 a night. Like, look at all these properties that are charging $250 a night. And I'm like, okay, send them to me. They were all available. Like, okay, there's a reason why all of these are available at $250. They're not booked at $250. Huge distinction. If you're available at $250, that means nothing. That means nobody has booked that night. So it doesn't matter what your advertised nightly rate is. It's all that matters is what people are booking at, which I will show you next. So this is kind of the one-off, the last piece of the puzzle. We use this for holidays, big events. Like right now, we're like heading into fall. So football, we got a pro football team here, all those kind of fall events. So that is very important for these. So once again, the booked rate not available. The available rate is absolutely useless and a phantom metric that you need to ignore. Once again, this is set up on the individual listing, but you need a comp set first. Otherwise, you're just going to be looking at wrong data. So it is in here under neighborhood data. Make sure you guys can see this. Here's not too bad. This might be a little squished. Hopefully that. Okay, so we're back here. So this is one thing to do is originally before you, well, first things, change the, it will have had nearby listings, which here is useless because you want the closest like 15 to 20 comps that we already set up in the comp set, right? So making sure you select the comp set just so you're looking at the right data here. So you'll see this is a 4-bedroom, and then we're actually comparing it to our comp set for 417 Ewing. So this is the same comp set that we looked at here, just making sure we're comparing apples to apples. It defaults to nearby listings, and they'll usually do like 2 to 4 bedrooms, which there's a huge difference, or sorry, 3 to 5 bedrooms. So it'll be 1 up and 1 down. There's a huge difference between a 3-bedroom and a 4-bedroom and even a 5-bedroom. Night and day difference. So make sure you're looking at the right data. There is a time and place for like what I call like macro data, like looking at the market in general, but this one specifically is for the individual comp sets. We want to look at the closest ones. With me so far? All right. A lot of this we don't really use, but to check the individual ones, this is actually where you are going to look at it right here. So you're going to select your closest competitors, and then now you can look at the individual nights. So like let me make sure you guys can see these, might be a little small, but like these right here, let's say October 17th, we booked it at, about $250 a night. These looks like they got booked anywhere from 250 to 186. These got booked at maybe 300, but we've got a lot available in like the 400, 450 ranges. Even this like 270 is still available. This one, oh man, this is, you can't even book these. You've got a block here. This is a 3-night min, 3-night min. Oh man, unbookable nights, just leaving 400, 500 bucks on the table right here. And then you've also got this one that's still available for 400 bucks. So once again, these, I mean, we're a week away. These are still available at 400 bucks. Like they're overpriced. They are 1,000% overpriced. We booked it, 5 or 250 ish. These are similar comps, but these, I mean, you can see why are these booked, and that one's booked. This one is not booked. Well, these are not booked because there's a 3-night minimum on there. That's a separate combo. But is soon being overpriced just costs you money. So this is how you check individual nights. Like for example, let's look at Thanksgiving. So, is anybody booked? We got a couple booked for Thanksgiving. Look like about 300 here, 300 here. We're priced at like 500. 300, 325. 9. Seems a little much. But this is kind of how you spot check the nights. So very good for holidays, big events, things like that. So those are the 3 biggest ones that you guys need to look at. Once again, I've done a full training on how to use this and how we use this on all of our properties. We check this 3 times a week. I'm not saying you should, but definitely get in the habit of looking at the numbers. Otherwise, you're going to look back and be like, holy crap, September was terrible. We missed, our revenue goals by 50%. You definitely do not want to be there. If you're a manager, if you're an investor, if you're a host, like whatever it is for your clients. So, all right, sweet. I appreciate you guys watching. Sorry for the technical delays, but I'm going to wrap up here and